Let me show you how I made this trip possible with a number of variations. One is being points, credit card points. So my favorite credit card is Capital One. The reason why is because it gives me double points on everything that I purchase, and the points accumulate very, very quickly. I also pay my homeowners fee association with it, which is $400 a month. Yes, $400 a month. So every month I get 800 points immediately, and that's not to mention the utility bills, gas bills, so on. It accumulates very quickly. So I was very fortunate enough to have lots of points there to utilize towards airline travel. Not only that, I've accumulated a number of points with United Airlines, American Airlines, and Delta throughout the years. So it's time to use them up. Let me show you what my total was for the month of March and April while I was in Europe. And when I say Europe, I mean a broad term. I know Europe has 40 plus countries. We here in the United States call Europe, it could be anything, could be one country, two countries in Europe. So in my case, it was Serbia, Slovenia, and unexpectedly Frankfurt, Germany. So let me show you, go over a few financial things that came up during my trip. And I really didn't pay attention till I came home and see what my total cost was at the end of the day when I came home. So I'd like to share that with you to see maybe if you can resonate with that, see if you can kind of mold it to your liking to see if you can. All right, so let me show you how I track my finances. I use the software Quicken. I've been using it for many years and I'm very happy with it. I want to do a screen recording here. So I'm going to start off, log into my Quicken here, and then I'm going to run a report. It has a section here for reports. How much did I spend this year on travel? I've already kind of prepped it. So here it is. I'm going to run the report. As you can see, I started kind of planning on the 2nd of February for this trip, but then I've gone ahead and changed out a few things, canceled, rebooked, and so on. So when you see minus and then a plus, that cancels each other out. Basically, my total is $374.66. Now, that's not bad for 7 legs. Let me see if I remember. So I went from Norfolk to Newark, Newark to Munich, Munich to Belgrade, Belgrade to Ljubljana, Ljubljana to Frankfurt, Frankfurt to Washington, D.C., and then Washington, D.C. to Norfolk. So I believe that's 7 legs. Now you'll see here on the 24th, I returned on the 17th, and my trip from Frankfurt was $31.70. But here on the 24th, I booked another trip for the end of this year with Delta, and I only paid $5.60. So $374.66 for 7 legs. I think that's about like $53, $55, is that right? Per leg. So not bad for all the trips that I did. So that was my total amount that I paid for the airfare. Basically, I utilized my points, and then I also paid for the taxes. So that's a pretty good deal considering all the travel that I did. Now, what did I do for my accommodation? Well, as I mentioned in my previous videos, I was very fortunate enough to stay at my sister's house. I stayed there for 4 weeks, so that saved me a lot of money. And again, I can go into this report and let me show you how much I paid for my accommodation. My accommodation consisted of 1 night in Novi Sad when I went and stayed the night. And my next hotel accommodation was in Ljubljana. That was for 2 nights. And then from Ljubljana, I went to a hotel. And then from the hotel, because they didn't have, when I decided to stay a little bit more in Bled, Lake Bled, there was no vacancies, so I've gone ahead and booked myself accommodation that I was not very happy with. I did book for 7 or 8 nights, I believe, but because of the pilot strike in Frankfurt, which will cause me to miss my connection back home, I had to leave a little bit early from Ljubljana and fly to Frankfurt earlier. So I did request to get a refund for 2 nights that I left early, and I was very surprised that the owner was kind enough to refund me 2 nights, so that was $270. I also, with the remainder of the amount, I paid the rest with points. So with Capital One, you can convert your points into cash and pay your accommodation bill. So pretty much a good deal there as well with accommodations. Record the screen and show you what I spent on my accommodation. Again, I am going to go ahead and use my reports and pull it up. How much did I spend this month? Well, we're going to do this year for category of accommodations. Now, this one is a little bit complex, but I simplified it here because it does show accommodations where I stayed in Novi Sad. I paid cash for it, but I've gone ahead and showed it here as if I paid it by credit card, just so we can have a report here. And then this is the big one. This is the one where I booked for 10 days, I believe, and then we checked out early. I cashed in my points, and they were worth $1,111.53, so that gave me a credit. Because I checked out early, I did get a refund of $257.80. I went to Germany because I had to go in there early, 2 days. I had to leave Bled, so it worked out good. I checked out early to go to Frankfurt to catch my flight to DC because of the pilot strike. That was the only flight that I had out of Ljubljana. Was 2 days early. So because Lufthansa could not find me a alternative flight, and they basically told me that I'm on my own to figure it out, I've gone ahead and claimed expenses and compensation, not expecting anything, but I was surprised they refunded me $545.70 for the inconvenience of having to fly to Frankfurt early and accommodation. So when it all washes out, I technically just spent $191.31. So this was really worth it. It was a bit of a paperwork, but I had all the time in the world, so I did not expect this amount, so I was very happy with that. So altogether, my accommodations for Novi Sad, Ljubljana, Bled, and Frankfurt came out to $191.31. Now, food and restaurants. As I mentioned before, I'm not a big foodie. I do go to restaurants, but I'm not actively seeking out restaurants for every meal or every second meal. I like to prep and cook, which I had was very fortunate to do that at my sister's house. So a lot of supermarket shopping, open air market shopping, and making nice, healthy, delicious, not so healthy sometimes dishes, but it was fun cooking and it was fun making them. It was fun shopping as well. And then when I did not have kitchen facilities, such as in Slovenia or in Germany, I do like my sandwich, salad, bakery section. That makes me happy. So a lot of that was done in that way. So food was easy. I'm not a big fuss person. I will eat, if I have to eat the same thing every day, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. All right, let's take a look and see how much I spent on groceries while I was away overseas. I already know, and I was like shocked, but let me show you. All right, so this is groceries for the whole year. I'm going to edit and go from when I left. It was in March the 7th. I arrived 7th of March. Let's do Saturday. And then I left on the 17th of April. Let's go in and get that date. April the 17th. Let's do 18th, because if I did a charge on the 17th, it wouldn't show up till the 18th. So just to cover that. All right, big drum roll. Ay. That means I was going to Lidl. Oh my goodness, look at all this. Look at all this. $821.83. However, not all this was food. For example, if I was in Lidl and I bought some, like shampoos, whatever, maybe things for the house and stuff. There was one time that I kind of stocked up mom's food and groceries as well. Here are vitamins when I needed some zinc in Slovenia. I was starting to feel a bit run down. So that to me is a big amount, and that just tells me in the future I have to pay attention and just stop swiping all the time for everything and anything. Yeah, but basically it was like supermarket food related. I would shave off about maybe $200 out of this for various miscellaneous things that were not food related. The other category which I'd like to put in, and that is sightseeing and tours. And that was very little from what I do recall. I think I paid for, let me go back my memory. I think my first one was the Lake Bled and the Pletna boat ride. That was one ticket for tourist major attraction. The other one was going to Vintgard, so that was another tourist attraction. And what else? I went to the castle as well. So three tours attraction, 3 attractions and 3 touristy things. So that I will show you as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and separate transportation such as buses, trains and so on under this category, because I do wanted to separate the air travel from ground expenses. So let me show you that part as well. I do want to point out that I did not actively track my spending while I was there. In the back of my mind, obviously, I did keep some kind of a vague track. I do log into my accounts every day just to make sure everything is right on precise charges. There's nothing funny going on, and just track in that way that there's no funny charges. So everything I have is online. So I do have when I'm overseas, I can check my accounts and so on. Now, with that, the reason why I didn't track is because naturally I'm always a bargain hunter. I will go ahead and research something till kingdom come, but I do not sacrifice quality. So I'll go and do a couple of options, then choose the best one, of course. So I'm always conscious of getting good deals for my money, because I do make my money work hard. So in this case, my money, when I'm purchasing something, I'm automatically getting double points. By the way, if you want to check out Capital One, I'm going to go ahead and leave your referral link there. Check it out. They do always have some kind of a introductory deals going on. That's how I managed to get majority of 2 European trips just on those points now. So check that out. And I'm not paid by them. I don't have any sponsorship. I'm just new to YouTube, so definitely not sponsoring them. What did I splurge on? I do splurge. I bought my beautiful white bike, the one that I featured in a couple of videos, and it's waiting for me at my sister's house. It's all pimped up with roses, white basket. It is just waiting for me to come back and use it again. God willing, hopefully I'll be there for Christmas, and I know there probably will not be snow, but I'll take it for a spin again. So that to me was also symbolic. Like, I thought if I left something in Europe, the universe will align me to go back again. So hopefully that will be true. So how much did I spend on the bike? Well, the bike was 270 United States dollars, 270 US dollars. So that was worth it. To me, that was a splurge, but it's okay. It's a great splurge. As you can see, I'm very fond of my bike. I haven't named it yet. Maybe I can get a couple of suggestions. What do you think I should name my bike? It has to be a European name, has to be a girl's name, because she's white and she's got all those pretty little flowers around her basket. So I'm going to think about a name for her. So again, that was my splurge, and that was totally worth it for me. And there it is. After putting it all on paper and on a video, it forces me to look for rooms of improvement $821 for groceries and miscellaneous. I think miscellaneous in that category was came to that big number. Tell me, where do you see that I could have improved and done a little bit better? I am happy with the cost of accommodations and the flights, and the bike splurge was worth it. Put down in your comments, did this help you a little bit? Did it give you an insight of the cost of traveling? I would love to hear from you. Until the next video, thank you for watching.